So, first of all, let us talk about this entire situation. So, it has finally been confirmed that he will be headlining Wireless Fest in the UK from the 10th of July to the 12th. Now, do I think that there is a market for Kanye out there internationally? Absolutely yes. And do I also think that he's going to be able to put up a good show? Absolutely yes. Because one thing about Kanye West, regardless of how ridiculous some of his ideologies are, we can all agree that the man is very creative. In as far as creativity is concerned, I do feel like he's very, very talented. And if he does set his mind onto something, he's able to come up with something that would wow the people. So really, truly, I do feel like those who are going to attend will enjoy the show. Now, that being said, it is also important to note that this weekend is also the same weekend that the Title Swindler is going to be having his own shows to celebrate his album and his many years of being in the industry and snaking people. Okay, maybe the last part wasn't necessary, but you get what I'm saying. Now, I did see some people saying that, well, rumor has it that, the Title Swindler was expecting to be the one to headline Wireless Fest that weekend and that he ended up settling for his current venue. Now, in as much as I do not like the Title Swindler, I really don't think that he would look at his current venue as an issue of him settling. If anything, I do feel like it is true to his roots, it is true to who he is, and it makes much more sense for him to do the celebration locally. But the other people that do believe that he also wanted to do wireless are also saying that that is the reason that he decided to go with British GQ for his interview. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense that, I'm doing an interview with a British magazine and then I perform in the UK. But do I think that he would be daft enough to want to perform in the UK right now? That would be delusion, in my own opinion, because I don't think that internationally the demand for him as a performer is that high. Because it is one thing to be relevant in the music scene as a businessman and executive, and it's another thing to be in demand and relevant as a performer. And I do feel like demand wise internationally, Kanye is more palatable than the Title Swindler. This is just my opinion. So I refuse to believe that his whole team would sit down and they would come together to say that, yeah, it's a good idea that you go and perform at Wireless. For who? And performing what really? What songs would he be performing at Wireless? I don't know, you guys. Just let me know in the comment section. But personally, I do feel like that is very much far fetched, okay? But then again, whoever that has been behind their PR recently has been really doing such a bad job. So after all the failed PR attempts, I wouldn't put it past whoever is behind him also on the other hand, to come up with such a sloppy attempt at PR. But wait, who is behind Wireless? It's Live Nation, right? Yeah, Live Nation is behind Wireless. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there is a possibility that he would, he could have bargained to be headlining at Wireless. But then again, Live Nation also has to make decisions that would make sense because they are a business after all, okay? Regardless of the ties and, the business relationships that they have with him, objectively speaking, he wouldn't be the best pick to perform at Wireless. And that would be such a wrong business move for them because after all has been said and done, they also want to make sure that the event, is being loved by the people. Otherwise, people will just start canceling it. And, the next year, people will not be looking forward to going there. And also, people won't buy the tickets. I mean, who in 2026 outside, like internationally, is out there rushing to go and watch a Jay Z show? Nobody. Because I feel like recently in these current years, he has been more of a businessman than an artist. And it's surprising to me that he would even want to, if it's true, of course, that he would even want to go back into performing just like, no, no, Kanye has been consistent. So for me, it does make a lot of sense. But anyway, enough about that. Do we have any British tea sippers here? Are you guys going to be attending Wireless this year? And yeah, are you excited to see? Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Jordan Woods. Now, Jordan's story is one that a lot of people have different takes on. You do know after the drama between her and Tristan and the Khloe Kardashian situation and how he ended up running to the Smiths, the protection that she got, and the leveling up that she clearly did after that. People have mixed feelings about that, with some people feeling like, well, you guys are just saying that because it's the Kardashians. Otherwise, if your sister's friend was messing with your man or allowing your man to kiss her, you guys would have done the same thing that the Kardashians did. Because essentially, those women were making it seem like Jordan is the reason why Khloe and Tristan's home is getting broken. She's such a homewrecker. And I feel like that's the narrative that a lot of people didn't like, how they were crucifying Jordan only to go back and reconcile with Tristan. Now, that being said, on the other hand, it is also important to note that their own standards when it comes to the Kardashians and dating friends and friends' sisters and stuff like that have kind of been messy. Without even going further, let's talk about how dirty they did Black China. because before everything unfolded, Black China was actually cool with the sisters, and she would hang around the sisters with her man. That time who happened to be Tiger, the father of her child, her first child, and before you knew it, Kylie was all over the place, tea this, tea that, with that entire shirt that Tiger used to like back in the day, and before you knew it, Tiger was gone. We didn't see the sisters crucifying Kylie for that. And then the same thing could be said about Amber Rose and Kim Kardashian. They also used to be cool. And before you knew it, Kim Kardashian was out there laying down with Kanye West. As if that's not enough, Trina and French Montana were together. Chloe was friends with Trina. And before you knew it, Chloe was sleeping with French. Do you see now the cycle? So, of course, the black community was not going to have it when they tried to crucify this young girl for something that they also are guilty of doing. I mean, they even date amongst each other. I mean, with the whole entire Travis liking Kim first and then now is with Courtney. And then with the Kendall and Kim exchanging exes, it's a lot going on in that family. So, in as much as I do understand how people felt like, they were justified to feel how they felt about Jordan, I also do understand it when others defend Jordan, because if you're not holding each other to the same standards, why are you expecting another person to hold up a sister code that you guys also don't live with? It doesn't make any sense. So, I'm kind of sort of proud of how the black community stood with Jordan, to be honest. It's one of those things where you really truly are just sitting there and you're like, okay, I partly understand where one side is coming from and I partly understand where the other side is coming from. But that being said, Jordan did level up. She moved on. And I feel like it was also a blessing in disguise, to be honest, because during her friendship with Kylie, it's almost like she was living in her shadow. She was living in Kylie's shadow. She was being referred to as Kylie's friend, and she had her own identity after the breakup, after the friendship breakup. Started dating Carl Anthony Towns. Has been loved really loudly and beautifully by that man, and it seems like finally they are settling, because she recently had her bachelorette party, and I am so happy for her. I like to see women being loved right now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I know what happens behind the scenes, but at least as far as it now, I have not seen her being publicly embarrassed by that man. And honestly, we need to see more relationships like that. This is what we need to see more of, okay? We don't need to see messy digs and all of this stuff. Like, no, man. There are other people out there who are normal people, proper people doing proper things, okay? That was a cleanse that I needed on my timeline. After my timeline had been polluted by messy digs, the NFL, and at Volvo PBL, because it would be one day you're just waking up, oh, there's yet another baby mama emerging from Algeria. Oh, another one is coming from Spain. Oh, he even has another baby daddy. And I'm like, baby daddy? It was just too much. So for me, I'm happy to see such a cleanse, okay, on my timeline. To Jordan Woods, really. And speaking about relationships, let's also talk about Angela Simmons. Yet another cleanse on how to act classy, okay? I'm not talking about her dressing before you guys start coming for me. I'm talking about how she handled the breakup with Yo Gotti in a recent interview with Cam Newton. Like, listen, this is how you're supposed to move forward with grace and class. I love it. I absolutely adore this. And I love to see this type of representation more. It's not every time that you have to be screaming, F my baby daddy, F my ex, F my... It's just too much, man. It is too much. Okay, so Kim was asking him about what exactly transpired, and when I tell you that that woman is very much PR trained, and I miss the days when celebrities used to be PR trained. Celebrities at some point used to have conversations that you can actually follow, but now it seems like everyone is really trying to be, I don't know if that's what they call authenticity, because I've realized that just saying anything and saying too much and oversharing on the internet is now being equated to authenticity. I mean, we have people applauding certain people for being illiterate, and they call that authenticity. So I don't even understand what's going on, but watching that interview was very much refreshing. According to her, they grew apart and there's no drama there and there's still love there. There was no, oh my god, he cheated on me, he did this, he did that, F him. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that interview, okay? The same cannot be said about Carisha. Okay, yeah, this is me moving on to the next thing that we're going to talk about. Carisha is on some sympathy rollout. I don't know what's going on with her. I guess she's trying to promote, music that's coming, but it's not giving. Really, truly, it's not. She was even crying in an interview with BET. And I'm sorry, I just couldn't relate with someone who wrote a character reference for the Diddler. I'm not. I just don't, it's not. And I don't think it's going to work unless if Diddy comes out and, gives her some form of payola, to thank her for the letter. Because other than that, I don't see anyone caring enough to be buying a Carisha album. No matter how many times she cries, I'm not seeing that happening in 2026. But yeah, it appears she has some faith, and I love that for her. Now, to the final thing that we're going to talk about, which is the segment that I've been waiting for in this video. J. Cole is out there letting us know that he feels like people don't care about the music anymore. People don't care about the craft anymore. They just say anything. And have we not been saying this for the longest of time? Have we not been saying that you guys have been watering the genre down? But I guess you only start to realize and acknowledge it when it starts to affect you. But this is what happens when you lead something as creative as music with politics. When artistry is put behind politics and connections, this is what happens. And this is what we've been saying. The funny thing is, it didn't just start with male hip hop, it started with female hip hop, it started with female rap, you know, where politics and connections and who you like and who's behind your keys was made more important than your actual talent. And we called it. And you said Nicki Minaj fans are bitter. And you said, oh my God, times have changed. The problem started when you tried to crown someone who doesn't even write as the biggest female rapper. You put resources behind her. You said writing doesn't matter. You said lyricism doesn't matter. As long as you are out there shaking your behind, reciting and getting pushed, that's all that matters. And we knew this was bound to happen. And look what happened to female rap. Literally put resources behind a plant and started claiming that they opened doors for female rappers. Meanwhile, they opened doors for mediocrity, for people without talent and a little bit of clout to just come out there and claim that they are female rappers. And that genre, where is it right now? It's not doing what it used to do anymore because of this. And because when we were calling it out, everyone else said, oh, it's female rap stuff, no one cares, Nicki Minaj is bitter, this and that. You guys didn't see the bigger picture, because after that happened, and you guys continued to put a plant, a talentless plant, on a pedestal, the executives were like, so it means no one cares for the craft, no one cares for lyricism. So if we could get away with it with female rap, we can also do the same when it comes to man. And that's exactly what they did. Planted a rap battle, boted everything. No one was paying attention to the lyricism during the rap battle. Decided to push a song that was obviously polarized. And now you're crying. Now J. Cole is out here crying. But we've been saying this. That's exactly what we've been saying. And what's interesting for me is, if this entire UMG and Drake situation where they wanted to devalue him before negotiating his next deal, if this is actually true, it's very sad, because I feel like people don't also look at the bigger picture, because any other artist out there of a different race, different musical genres, who was able to recoup that money quickly as Drake did, if they had negotiated for a bigger deal next, they would have been given it. But because Drake belongs to a certain genre, number one, because Drake is not YT, number two, they felt like, no, he doesn't deserve to get anything bigger than $400 or $500 million. And that is a cap that they have put for black people, for people in hip hop. So whilst all of you are looking at it as a Drake issue, this is an issue about the entire genre, where they are telling you that you guys are not worth getting anything above $400 or $500 million for your artistry. And to be willingly used as a pawn to make sure that somebody who's in the same genre with you, somebody who looks like you, is not going to be given what they deserve, is insanity. What happened was insanity. But then again, like I said, I'm not feeling for Drake, because when it was happening to his counterpart, to Nicki Minaj, he felt like, oh, it's something that would never happen to him. And again, I continue to say that as long as people are not willing to come together in solidarity for what's right and what's wrong, regardless of how jealous or how intimidated you might feel, towards someone, please, as long as you're not able to come together, this will continue happening. They have studied you. The executives have studied you. By each experiment they put out there, they are seeing, they're testing your limits, they're testing your boundaries. They tested your boundaries with female rap, and they realized that you don't value it enough to want any meaning out of it. So we will give you someone with ABC raps, and you're going to fake, buy, and enjoy her music just to spite a person that you don't like. They have rated you. They have seen you. So they know you will do the same also when it comes to the men. And now Jake was like, it took some effort. I would actually go there, listen to the music, and buy the album, and then give critique. But now people just do exactly. People don't even buy the music to critique anymore, because they don't care about the craft. It's more political than it is artistic. It's more of business decisions over creativity. And this is what has landed the genre here. And until people are willing to acknowledge that and rectify it, unfortunately, it's only going to become worse. The wake-up call is when Kendrick is going to be replaced by Jack Harlow. That's, that's going to be their wake up call. Ask Remy Ma what I'm talking about. The moment you realize that rap is being now led by Jack Harlow and Advocate BBO, that's when you guys are going to wake up. That's when you guys are going to wake up. Now Remy Ma is out there backstage and just watching at Vovo BBO thinking, oh my god, this should have been me because they promised me that. They said if I were to go against Nicki Minaj, they would give me this platform, but now I've got no option but to dance in the crowd, watching I live my dream. Oh my god, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about this. Thank you very much, you guys, for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post. Yesterday I was having such a bad time, my god. Initially, the editing, I ended up leaving that clip with audio, and then later on when I did another video, I thought my microphone was on the whole time, but it wasn't really connected. And I was like, listen, what can I do? I cannot redo an entire 20 minutes, and I can't replicate this because, like I told you, I also just freestyle. But yeah, thank you for bearing with me yesterday, and my apologies for the subpar quality of content that I gave you yesterday. Until my next one, see you.
Constant, you know what I mean, algorithm, content, boom, boom. That was the only way to listen in the 70s or the 60s. I had to go to the store, get this shit. I'm already leading with love. I'm spending my $5 back then to get this vinyl. Nowadays, the fucked up part is like, I despise this about like, and that's a strong word, but it's like this, because I'm of the generation where I got a taste of the old way before it switched. So what I don't like is like, yo, to hear my album or to go hear somebody's album or to get his album, I gotta go get it.
Yep.
And I'm already expressing love, number one.
Yep.
Two, excitement, interest.
Yep.
Because I have to go do something to get this.
And you
even when
inconveniencing yourself a little bit, right?
You said what?
It's a little bit of an inconvenience.
I'm inconveniencing myself
That's
to
commitment,
go check
right?
this out. So
Right.
that means I want to like this shit.
Yep.
Right. Like, so there's that. Even when it was iTunes, okay, even though I can get this shit on my computer, I still gotta make a purchase.
Right.
It's inconveniencing me. It's hitting my pockets.
Right.
What I don't like right now is like, yo, you pay your $15 a month or your $10 a month, you got every fucking song in the world.
Yeah.
We already undervaluing
Yeah, that's true.
all the songs in the world.
right,
like, okay, but then an album drops, a conversation happens. You don't even give a fuck about this artist. You never loved this artist. You don't even really care about the genre. You're not educated in the genre, in the space.
Right.
You just see a conversation happening and you want to be a part of the conversation. So now let me go listen to such and such album at 12 o'clock or the next day.
Yeah.
I didn't do no work to actually get to this
Yep.
album and to have an
Yeah.
opinion. If I didn't like an album when I bought that shit on CD, guess what, nigga? I got the right to not like this bitch because I
Right.
spent $15.99.
That's right.
I got the right, and now I can have a
Right.
conversation with
That's
somebody else that spent their $15.99. If you didn't spend $15.99, you can't even talk to me about this album. We can't have a
Right.
conversation. You didn't do the work. You didn't make any type of investment. Now,
Yeah.
you don't love this nigga. You just listen to his album.
Mm-mm.
You don't even like this person.
Mm-mm.
But to be a part of the conversation and to have an opinion, let me go listen to this shit.
Yeah.
There's no barrier of entry for anyone
Yeah.
to experience the music, and it's like, yo,
And live with it.
and live
Yeah.
with it. So what I was trying to make.